Mad Scientists, we're gonna be doing the Great Cookie Dunk. So in your kits, everybody got a piece of paper that looks like this. This is where we're gonna write down everything about our experiment. We're gonna write down the hypothesis, our observation, our prediction. We're gonna be testing the buoyancy of all the cookies. So buoyancy means if it will sink or float in liquid. So we have our cookies here on this plate. We have Oreo, oatmeal, and fudge. And then we also have a glass of milk here that we're gonna dunk our cookies in. So first we're gonna write down our hypothesis. So this means, what do we think is gonna happen? Do we think the cookies are gonna float? Do we think they're gonna sink? Do we think only certain ones will float or sink? I think that all the cookies are gonna float when we dunk them in the glass of milk. So I'm gonna write that down. So you can see I wrote it right there where it says hypothesis. I wrote all cookies will float in the milk. So next is observation. We're gonna look at our cookies and we're gonna see everything about them. So first we're gonna start with the Oreo. So this Oreo, it looks like a dark brown. It looks pretty bumpy. That's what I observed, so that's what I'm gonna write down. Bumpy and dark brown. Next is oatmeal. This is our oatmeal cookie. So this one is a lighter brown. This one is pretty rough. So I'm gonna write that down. And then our last cookie is this fudge one. This one looks a lot like the Oreo. It's a dark brown and it's pretty bumpy. So I'm gonna write the same thing as the Oreo. So my observation boxes look like that. Now the next step is prediction. Prediction is a lot like hypothesis. What do we think is gonna happen? But for our prediction, we're gonna predict the cookies individually if we think they're gonna float or sink. So let's start with the Oreo. Do we think this one is gonna float or sink? I think this one is gonna float, so I'm gonna write that down. And then next is Oreo. Do we think this one is gonna float or sink? I think this one's gonna float also. And the last one we have here is the fudge cookie. Float or sink? I'm thinking float. And now once we have our prediction all written in, now it's time for the experiment. So now we're gonna dunk the cookies in and write down if they sink or float. So first is Oreo. It looks like this one floats. Now oatmeal. This one floats also, but not as good as the Oreo. The last one we have here is the fudge. Yeah, this one is a lot like the Oreo. It floats really well. So now we're gonna write that in, if it floats or sinks. So all of mine floated, so I'll put a check mark for float. And that is the end of the Great Cookie Dunk experiment. Comment down what your favorite cookie is down in the comments.
Oh, yeah, hey, yeah, hey.